Okay, y'all, we are moving on to the second of the Craftsman mowers now. This one is not quite as high end as the first one that I worked on. It doesn't have a hydrostatic transmission. It doesn't have the tractor type rear tires, doesn't have anti-scalp wheels, and smaller engine on it as well. Just had to take a gander at it real quick just to see if there was anything I was missing. This is actually a newer style as well. This one is built, that one is built in 98. This one was built sometime, I believe, in 2003, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so October 23rd of 2003 is when this one was built. The motor is in good shape, from what I can tell. I have the cover for it right over here. It's a 16 horse Briggs, the newer style Briggs. It has this different style air filter and stuff on it. So I have that. I pumped up the tires on it. The rear tires look like they're holding pretty well, which is good because those are the more expensive tubes. The left front seems to be good. I'll have to check it here in about a week's time. The right front has already gone back down, so I know I'll have at least to put one tire tube on it. The guy has also put a brand new starter on it, which is awesome. So that is kind of nice. And then I checked to make sure it had compression before I bought it. So the motor's got compression. What he said is that he tried to get it to run and it wouldn't start. Now, one of two things I guess can be wrong with it. Somebody has screwed around with the safety switch here to put it to where like you have to use a switch to start it and then run it. I'm hoping to where I can actually, because it's still got the seat safety switch on, I just think they use it as a bypass mechanism. So I'm going to try to get the seat safety to work. If it doesn't work, it's not that big of a deal, but I would like to be able to do that. Next order of business is that the blade engage is stuck, and thanks to a suggestion on my overview video, Terrell Fixes All really helped me out when it comes to fixing this. We're going to fix that as well. It looks like all the safety switches and whatnot are working properly. Oh, and also the, he said the brakes, but you know the clutch isn't engaging, so you push it in and nothing happens. So that should just be an adjustment, hopefully. Real quick, a couple of things that are upgraded from, or that are changed from 98 to 03 on these Craftsmans. A different style steering. It's not mechanical. It's kind of like the semicircle gear, which is a little bit more reliable steering, and you can also turn a little bit sharper with it. The carburetor intake is a little different on the single cylinder ones from 98 to 03. Your deck height actually has 6 slots instead of the infinite adjustment like is found on the older Craftsmans. And also the front linkages, the deck engage is different. It's an electronic for safety purposes. So, because you can actually start that one with the blades on. So they added that as a safety purpose, or as purpose for safety in the later years. So, first order of business, I want to get the blades turned off. See if that will, I don't think it'll have any issue because the safety is actually right there for the blades. And so I'm going to do that first and lower the deck. And apparently these things get little slots in them whenever they get worn out, the deck engagements. So I am going to see if I can pull this back by myself here. And if not, I will grab it's pretty stuck on there, y'all. So I'm going to grab some tools, get this thing off. I don't think the cable is frozen. So let's see if I can grab some tools to get this thing off, so where it will, so the blades won't be running all the time while I'm testing out the mower. All right, so while I'm at it, I am actually going to go ahead and take the deck off. Excuse me. So in the front here, you got a bunch of quick release pins run right here. That one you actually don't have to take off because it's married up here to the front. Same on this side. Just take the one off the front on this side. Under the deck here, you've got that pin right there, that pin right there for the height adjuster. And I don't know if you can see farther back there, that's the pin for the cable. We'll take that one out as well. Actually, I can go ahead and do them. They're pretty frozen in there, actually. Yeah, I'll get some pliers and whatnot to get them out. But one thing I do want to show while I'm at it, you've got, let's see, that's the pin I was talking about right there. You got one right there on the side as well. So while I'm at it, I want to kind of show y'all the pin, the cable setup under the deck here. Let me see if I can get this thing right. There we go. Just pull that pin out. That should give you a quick release. Should just be able to pull. It's going to be a little difficult because of the frozen deck cable. But this is going to be the easiest way to go. Just pull it out just like that. Just take note of what side this went on. It went on the opposite end there, so that the pin doesn't go through. So it goes like that in between the pin. So it goes pin, little gasket, and then mount, and then the back side. So that's how that is. I've gotten the cable untangled, so that's a good thing. I'm going to get all the other pins off here, which hopefully they'll all come off as easy as that. And I will slide the deck under and I'll come get y'all when I've done that. Okay, so went ahead and got the pins off. Sometimes a little lubricant will actually loosen them up if they've been rested on a little while. Didn't really have to do that with these. But as you can see, I've got it off of the height adjusters. So a trick to get it under, you had it on the lowest setting to get the height adjusters down, and the deck's dropped to the floor here. So I've put it back up to the highest setting. And go ahead and just kick those off. That was a little tough. That doesn't want to go, y'all. Here we go. Okay, so now the fun part. Actually, it's not really that difficult, but here we go. Don't forget to take the belt off the front of the pulley. That would help things, right? And to make it easier, thank you, Terrell fixes all for this tip as well. Just fold the handles onto themselves. The little hang-up spot I've got right now is back here in the back. I've got the cable. Just make sure your cable is clear of your deck whenever you're pulling it out. Yeah, I do have a couple of small holes in this one. Okay, so one more pin that you can access right here on top of the pulley. This is the pulley that's stuck, if you remember. So we'll get that real quick. There we go. Spring gone. Just get it away. Pull this thing out. I'll move the mower over a little bit, that way I don't really hit the car over there. And nothing a broom can't fix, right? Alright, so let's take a look at this deck real quick. What I can see so far, and guys, this is why you don't keep grass and mess like caked up on your deck, because it'll start eating at the top and it's already going to be eaten from the bottom because of the potential wet grass that you cut. I have one hole right here. That's not bad at all though. And then one small hole right here. Considering what these Craftsmans are known for and rusted out decks, I'll definitely take that. And then let's see if we can actually look under it real quick. So the blades are very dull actually, but they still have an edge on them, so I think I will be able to sharpen them and be okay. I usually, unless their blades are completely trashed, especially on lower end mowers, I don't really worry about it, but those blades look okay in the grand scheme of things. I'm going to pulley check here. Pulleys look... This pulley looks a little like I'll need a little bit of lube on it, but I don't think this mower's been running a little while. So I think I'm just got to lube up the pulleys. They don't sound like they're making noise. That pulley's good. That pulley's got a little bit of noise, but that's not atypical for a mower like this. So I don't need to take the blade off. I just need to get this to where the pulley will actually come back in the non-engaged position, at least for right now, which it's actually stuck, I think, under this right here. So the next order of business will actually be to take off this pulley mechanism after I learn if it runs or not. So now that I at least know that I'm not going to be like blades on whenever I turn this thing on, then that's fine with me. And I'm going to see if this cable is still loose, which it is. So I'm going to either lube it up, one, or two, I'm going to replace it. They're not very expensive to replace, thankfully. Let's take a look here if I can even pull it out. It's very tight, so I might have to end up replacing this one. again, I just want to make sure that it works first off. But that's kind of where I'm at with this one. Let me lube up the cable to see if I can get it freed up. If not, I will order a cable for it as well. I think the cables are like $7, $8. The tube's going to be $8. I mean, money adds up, but I mean, it's really not that bad. And then I'll end up having to at least order one discharge cover, which is about $25. So not too bad. If I put $70, $75 in parts in between both mowers, I'm okay. I'll be $300 in both of them. I'll probably end up getting $700 for the pair. So I can totally do that for the amount of work that I'm having to do. Anyways, let me do some lube on the cable. And I actually put the starter solenoid back on too, which I gotta find. I usually try and keep my garage clean. Here we go. So just toss the starter solenoid on it as well. And yeah, so we'll do all that and see if we can get this thing to at least crank for us. And at the same time, while I got the deck off, I'll check the clutch to see if it is something wrong with it, because the drop belt looks to be in good shape. Alrighty, y'all, so I know it's a tight position here, but I wanted to show y'all kind of the way the starter solenoid goes on these Craftsmans. There's a bolt on the side here. There's actually supposed to be two, but this has been a modified one. They bolt in right here, some 7/16 inch bolts, pretty common. And then there's supposed to be, which was not on these, so I put them on there, a 7/16 inch nut that kind of acts as a mounting point for each terminal. And again, I don't have a battery or anything hooked up, so not going to have any issues with, you know, sparks flying or anything like that. Because if your key switch is bad or something like that, and you try and hook one of these up with the battery on, you're not going to have very good luck. Let me get the camera down there so you can see them. Actually, you put your terminal on. Got to remember to do that. And, you know, fumble with the bolt while you're at it as well. You just put it on. Make sure you don't cross thread anything. As you put it on, but you take a 7/16 inch ratchet or a wrench, whatever you decide, whatever you can fit down here, honestly. Tighten these things up. You want to make sure you have a really good connection on the terminals here. So you don't want to over tighten them, but you do want to tighten them pretty well. That one's not quite fully tight like I want to, but I'll work on that one a little bit. Just wanted to show you how to put a starter solenoid together. There's also a black wire and a white wire, kind of your neutral and your hot, or excuse me, your ground and your neutral for the key switch. And with the way that everything was hooked up here, it looks like the black goes on the front side and the white goes on the back side. Some of them only have one wire. I think a lot of the MTDs may only have one wire going to them. So make sure your stuff's tight, because you don't want, like I said, any issues with anything. So, alright, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to find a battery to hook up to it, and we will see if we can get this thing to start. So let me show y'all the clutch mechanism here. As y'all can see, here's the spring, and then here's some adjustment nuts. What I found was that when I pushed the clutch all the way in, the spring actually wasn't even touching kind of the pawl or whatever you want to call it for the clutch. So all it was doing was just sitting there, and it wasn't turning anything or doing anything. And it was actually frozen, so PB Blaster was my friend. I got that out. And so now what I'm doing, just want to show y'all where I'm tightening up the clutch. And I'm hoping that this works. I know that this is an issue on many of these Craftsmans, is slowly but surely I'm taking a 15 millimeter wrench and just tightening it up. And this one needs a lot of adjustment. So break off your kind of set nut here, turn it to the left, loosen it up. If you need to tighten the clutch, take your 15 mil, turn it to the right. While I got the deck off, it's very easily accessible. I'm trying to get everything that I need off the deck before I continue, or before I put it back on. So I'm going to continue doing this. When I get it right, I will show y'all. And if for some reason the clutch mechanism inside the transaxle shot, then unfortunately that's the way it's going to be with this mower. Like I said, the first mower I've had was a big success, so whatever I can do to this mower is kind of what I want to get done to it. Obviously I want to do it right, so we'll actually try that right there. Just tighten your set screw down, and I'll actually leave y'all on to see where how I can test this real quick. Still got nothing, so I'm gonna, as you can see, the spring's still not really on it. So I'm gonna keep tightening that clutch up. Hopefully we can get it to where it will grab the clutch so that this thing ain't gonna be rolling. You know, have to stop it with the gears. So let me continue working on this, and I'll get back to y'all when and if I'm able to get this fixed.